Hello and welcome to my world. And well, you can already tell what this is going to be. You can tell by the title. We're reacting to Hellsing Ultimate Abridged Episode 1. But a full disclaimer here regarding my familiarity with Hellsing in and of itself. I've seen the original anime, but I've never seen the Hellsing Ultimate OVA series. So in terms of that, never seen that. Um, Now I've read the manga that was published by Dark Horse. As a matter of fact, I still have volumes 1 through 8 in my collection. Never was able to find volumes 9 and 10. But when I discovered that there was the big hardback deluxe versions that included everything, uh, all ten volumes of the manga plus all the extra stuff, the Crossfire side story, and I have those, and so I was actually able to finally read how Hellsing, in terms of its manga story, uh, wrapped up and everything. So I have that knowledge in general here. Um, and while I do know of Hellsing Ultimate, it does or is actually a pretty faithful adaptation of the manga. The original Hellsing is within its first few episodes, but then it goes off on its own tangent because that was being produced at the same time the manga was, so it kind of had to go do its own thing at a certain point. So, so that's kind of like where we're at with that, at least in terms of this. Now, now we will get started here. The volume for this is going to be very, very low because there is licensed music and everything there, but I am obviously going to have the captions on. So there you go. So you barely hear it, and you might hear it coming through the mic from my speakers a bit here. The reason for that is anybody who watches my streams know that over the past few months I've gone away from using headphones and earbuds and stuff like that. I just find it a lot more comfortable when I'm recording or anything or playing anything. So plus with my job, when I actually have work, I wear a headset, and so it's like the last thing I want is stuff on my ears and on my head for more than a certain amount of time during the course of a day. So, with that said, let's hit play here. And we'll bring this volume up. Although the rough thing is watching anything from Team 4 Star with captions. Was Anderson Irish in the original anime? Because it's been like probably, I want to say 15 years since I actually watched the original anime. What's up with the One Piece opening? Ah, bait and switch. Twilight reference. Overkill. Okay, we'll just go with that. Great intro. Ah, Sarah's Victoria. Oh, that's just terrible. Alucard's a brat, isn't he? Well, she did. 1 week earlier. Doesn't it always? Yeah, he ain't wrong. Well, subtlety is for the weak in terms of intent. I love the lip flaps and how. Who does the lip flap animations for Team Force Isaac? Kaiser Neko? And you're to blame, baby. You give love a bad name. Although that's more through the lung, right? Not the heart. Because the heart's like here. So I've heard of worse reasons for actually helping people. Again, there are worse reasons to do things. There, well, if you're going to take a walk, might as well be enthusiastic, right? This is a clever use of using the same animation over, and this is going to show that the relationship between Alucard and Integra is kind of strenuous at best. All right. It might. Well, he turned her into a vampire, so of course he's going to have to take her with him. She is his responsibility. Again, I'm trying to remember. Did Anderson have an Irish accent in the first anime? Because again, I have not seen Hellsing Ultimate, so I don't know what the English dub of that sounds like. So I'm trying to. Dude's got bars. To be fair, anything's 100 times more awesome than House of the Dead. Yes, it can. Sarah certainly comes across as being more willing to enjoy her work. And I take that back. Subtlety is for the weak, as I said earlier. Ooh. Shouldn't that be the other way around? A motherfucking vampire? Just asking. That's a great cut. And make sure you have lube for that when you're doing that to all types of duck. Just saying. Anderson strikes me as the type of guy who enjoys his work. At least in terms of how this is adapted. Then again, he does always enjoy his work in the manga. But not to this degree.
The only one left here is your sorry pal.
Yeah, give me a minute. So what do you want, anyways? The nearest elementary school is at least 10 kilometers away.
Ooh.
It is your character claim. It is your evil that will be fought by me with every breath.
Boondock. Saints.
Say why?
Seriously, you must watch that movie religiously. Get it?
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. Knife.
Knife.
Well, now that that's over, how about we go back to...
Remember, it serves me right. Anderson was a regenerator in the manga. And he's a regenerator, apparently, in the Ultimate series, too.
Freaking bit. Son of a Protestant whore. Well, you know what time it is.
And subtlety is for the weak, it seems.
Please, girl. You are reading your master's mind. Put my hand between your boobs.
To be fair, who wouldn't want to be there?
Very good. Now the next thing I want you to do is put me between your legs.
Well, so much for that command being followed, huh?
Too many lies. Too many lies.
What do I do? What do I do? I try to do something. Wait, no, I'm not an 8-year-old boy.
Ooh.
Where's we ass?
That girl belongs to me.
Well, aren't you the naughty one?
Don't make me shoot you in the fucking head.
Didn't work when Alucard did it.
Crazy Protestant bastard.
I'm a woman.
Call yourself whatever you want, you crazy Protestant bastard.
You do know this is a great violation of our agreement.
What part would that be?
I'm kind of confused on that joke.
Killing my men.
I'm kind of confused on the joke. It's like, she's a woman. It's like, it's obvious she's a woman.
Just shut up.
It might, in terms of the Lucky Charm bit.
Killed him. Cut off his bloody head.
Oh, well, that's step one. What about 2 through 10?
Christ.
And he's back up for round 2.
You done good.
How the blood-soaked Protestant hell did you do that?
Fuck you, that's how.
Good answer.
You know what? I've had enough.
Good answer.
Hell with all your dirty heathens.
Eat me. Don't forget to write.
Oh my god. You survived.
So,
What?
do I get to go after him?
No.
Aw, come on.
No, and that's final. We've got bigger things to worry about.
Such as what?
What's behind these vampire attacks? It has to be some kind of large organized group.
Like the Nazis?
That's a large organized group. And look, again, they're very organized. I mean, when you think of a bunch of bloodsuckers, just think of Nazis. All right. So, okay. Couple of things there. The one joke that kind of went over my head, and I'm only 5'6", 5'7" with the hair, that went over my head, and many things would go over my head, is the whole, oh, you crazy Protestant bastard, I'm a woman. Call yourself whatever you like. Integra's design she's not exactly rough looking. I'm not exactly sure how the hell you could confuse her for being, or even what context for her to be come across as like being a man. So there has to be something there. And again, I've read the manga, I've watched the original anime, so there has to be something that it was implied in Hellsing Ultimate that I don't know in terms of the context there, or in terms of a specific reference. Be that as it may. But the writing was quite good. The voice acting is very good. Clearly, who is it? Takahata 101, I believe, is the voice of Alucard, who is also the voice of Perfect Cell. So using the same voice, and it works considering a lot of the innuendo that was Perfect Cell's dialogue. So taking that and applying that to Alucard in this context is quite good, and Alucard being way more over the top and having way more dialogue is certainly a treat. I personally loved the double use of the scene of Alucard and Integra talking over the phone, such as using a flashback of him explaining what happened on his very enthusiastic walk in the woods, and him basically putting one through Ceres's a shot through the heart, although it's more of her lung. If again, I will have to refer to the manga on that one. Just to double check what off the top of my head. In that regard. But using that conversation piece twice to not only recap, basically give that flashback to why Ceres is already there and converted as a vampire, when it's like actually the first thing that is done in at least in both in the manga and in the original anime series is actually quite clever. But using that dialogue, those scenes again, also with the whole Bella and Edward Twilight reference scene debacle is also a clever use and an excellent reuse of footage, because I can only just imagine that there's going to be a lot of reusing footage for conversations and things of that sort. Because I can already tell, just like obviously they're cutting out a lot of a huge chunk of the story and just condensing it down to what was about 11 minutes, just about 11 minutes, give or take. I am struggling though. It's like I would have to watch the anime again the original anime again, because I have easy access to that in my DVD collection. Regarding the voice of Anderson, now if he has an Irish accent in Hellsing Ultimate, okay, that definitely makes sense. And don't get me wrong, it works. Because if you want to think of somebody who is completely completely over the top sociopath in terms of like having an issue with Protestants, an Irish Catholic is, it's probably definitely the way to go with it. Whoever they got doing Anderson's voice and delivering that dialogue does a very fantastic job in conveying just how much of a psycho he is, and while also delivering the right amount of malice. Ceres comes across a little bit more serious, I want to say. I think she had more of like more of a positive, or at least an upbeat or optimistic viewpoint, but she definitely felt like she already had enough of Alucard shit at this point. And it says, like they say, it's like a week difference between when she's converted and when she and Alucard are off to Ireland to deal with a vampire and a was the experiment regarding if you do something to a leprechaun, does Lucky Charms spill out? So there's that. Anyway, so with that said, we will wrap this up here. And at some point I will do a proper reaction to episode 2 and so forth. So till next time, tighten your friendship bracelets, stay safe, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.